"It's like being resurrected," said Mikola as he recounted a tale which he never thought he would be able to share. He said Russian soldiers buried him along with his two brothers in graves by the side of a remote road in the northern Chernihiv region of Ukraine. 3 weeks after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, he and his brothers were shot by the soldiers, but he was the only one to survive. Even though the Russians had occupied the village of Divstik since the start of the war, nothing much changed for Mikola's family until March 18, when a Russian column was bombed and soldiers started looking for the ones responsible, CNN reported. The soldiers had arrived at the house of Mikola, where he lived with his two brothers, Yevhen and Dmytro, along with their sister, Irina, who still hasn't forgiven herself for not being home that day. Recounting the chilling details of the day, he said, he first heard a shot behind him and then 36-year-old Dmytro, the eldest of the three, fell to the ground. Next, he felt Yevhen, the youngest, drop by his side. "I was thinking that I was next," he said. But a miracle happened as the bullet entered Mikola's cheek and excited next to his right ear. He knew his only hope of survival was to play dead. He does not know for how long he pretended to be dead after the soldiers kicked the bodies into the pit and covered them with earth. Somehow, even with his hands and legs tied, he somehow managed to maneuver his way out from under his older brother's corpse and back to the land of the living. "It was hard for me to breathe since Dmytro was lying on top of me, but using my arms and knees, I was able to push my older brother off to the side of the pit, and then I climbed out," he said. He struggled through the fields and reached a house where a woman took care of him overnight. The next morning, he was able to reach his sister, who was anxiously waiting for days at their father's home. "I came home and there was Mikola. I looked at his eyes and asked, 'Where are the others?' He said, 'There are no others,'" Irina recalled, sobbing. Saying that his survival was a miracle, he said, "I was lucky, and now I have to just go on living," he said. This story needs to be heard by everyone, not just in Ukraine, but around the world, because these kinds of things are happening and this is just one in a billion, he added. A probe has now been launched into the incident by the Chernihiv Region Prosecutor's Office. Investigators told CNN that the brothers' hands and legs had been tied and they had been blindfolded.